here. There we go. And then there we go. Okay, so going to be starting doing our readings for May 8th through, well, since this is the weekend, right, we'll do May 8th, which is Saturday, May 9th is Sunday, May 10th. So we'll do May 8th through the 10th. So let's do that. Let's do May 8th through the 10th. Okay. Hey, Angela, how you doing? How was your last 2 days since you've seen me? Hopefully good. Hello, 5D Pixie. How are you doing? Hello, Liz. We're getting a full crew going on here, aren't we? All right. Well, let's get started, shall we? Hello, N. Lomez. How are you doing? Let me move this over here. And let me start shuffling the cards. I'm just going to do, I think I'll just do 2 piles for the days here instead of the 3, just to kind of see what we get to know here. So let's see what we can come up with. Anyone got any fun plans for the weekend? Angela, thank you, always, with the donations. You're very kind. Let's see, so I'll put you down here. You'll be the first read that we do. Okay. Oh, there we go. Popped up on the screen there. Okay, let's get this shuffled up here. Can you guys hear me okay? I love that one, 5D Pixie. I don't know what it is. Is it a heart that has Wi-Fi that's possessing a human? Because if so, that sounds pretty badass, and I want that too. I am doing good, Angela. I'm just kind of getting back into the groove here. I did some saging yesterday for this room. I think it was needed, and hopefully I can feel more connected doing these readings today. Sometimes that's how it is. You're just kind of you're kind of connected and you're kind of not, so got to learn to go with the ebb and the flow, right? Okay. I sound good? Thank you. Thank you. This, I've got a mic set up, a new mic kind of situation, so I'm glad you guys can hear me okay. And, yeah, it is really cute. 5D, we're talking about the cutest thing I've ever seen. So, talking about personal heart stuff going on. I'm up for that. I'm up for that. All right. Alrighty. This part always takes just a little bit getting things set up here. Oh, thank you, Angela. Alright, so let's do 2 piles. Okay, we can select 1 pile or we can select... Okay, we can select the first pile or we can select the second pile. Okay? Or you can be like me and just think both. I mean, come on. But that's what we're going to do. So let's do this right here. Okay. So we doing pile 1 or pile 2, guys? I'm going to see if we can get psychic messages too, but I'm going to go with what I'm feeling here. So, there's my water. Liz says 2. All right, we'll go with 2. Let me sit here. All right. So, we have this right here starting out. So we have patience in reverse. Hello, Sephora. How you doing? Patience in reverse. Then we have blossoming abundance. This time it's upright, so that's really good. The Hermit in reverse. And then the Nine of Swords. So the Hermit in reverse with the Nine of Swords, we're coming out from being in seclusion, but we're anxious, right? When I see the Nine of Swords, that's an anxiety card. When I see Patience in reverse and the Hermit in reverse, we're coming out of kind of a seclusion period in our lives. It makes us anxious to come out of this, though, but know that there will be blossoming abundance. Know that this is for the betterment of everything. If I look at this right here, I'm seeing it being a situation where I feel like we've been waiting for something to happen. To me, it could be career, it could be money, more than likely, but it could also be waiting for a relationship to open up. It could be waiting for kind of us to get our shit together, so to speak. So when I see this, that's what I'm focusing on here. The Hermit in reverse, we could also be dealing with a Virgo person. That could be someone that's kind of testing us a little bit. So this is for Saturday. We could have someone that's testing us a little bit. But ultimately, how I read this is that we're coming out of kind of an isolation period or a hermit period, right? I don't know how you come out of those. I know how to get into a hermit period, but coming out of them is pretty difficult for me. So if you guys know, let me know. But that's what I'm seeing here so far. And I'm also getting the word temporary or temporal coming into my mind. So there's this right here is temporary, what we're experiencing. There could be another kind of seclusion period coming in. So I honestly feel like right now in the world, it's a lot of... okay, good. Hopefully it's a good Virgo friend. But let me do this. Hey, Wild Harmony. How are you doing? Is this your first time on the channel? I had to close that door. I have to close the window and I have to light an incense. I forgot to light an incense, and that is very, very nonsensical for me, guys. A Taurus without incense, that's nonsense. We don't do that. We don't. Give me a second here. Let's do one of these ones. Let's see. San Pedro it is, everybody. Well, welcome, Wild Harmony. Hopefully everything's going well for you. And yeah, like Liz says, like and subscribe to support the channel. I'm not doing free readings with the liking and subscribing, but I will dress more and more. The beanie gets higher the more likes and subscribes I get. It can eventually go off the camera. So just know that that's something that'll happen. But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing here. And I read, like I said, I feel like this is temporary. So I feel like we're going to come out of our shell, and then I feel like we could possibly go back in. But I want you guys to treat this. This is for tomorrow's general reading for everybody. I want you guys to treat this like a learning phase. We'll take one step forward. We might take 2 steps back. But the fact that we're taking steps forward is really good. And for some people, I feel like this could be recovery from an addiction, or this could be getting over certain things. But if there's a relapse or if something happens, know that that's a temporary setback and let yourself stay focused on the goal that is you getting better and things going well for you. So that's what I'm seeing here. I feel like we're impatient. I feel like we just want to be better. We just want things to go the way we want them to go. But a lot of times we have to go through kind of a tower card situation. This doesn't feel quite like that, but it feels like there's energy here that's blocking us from changing. And I feel like tomorrow that will change. And then the next day we could go back to some old ways. But I feel like it's important to experience these two ways of being so that we can focus on how we want to be in the future, kind of a situation. So let's do this other one for Saturday. Let's see what we get here. All right, so we have this one for Saturday. We have action in reverse, okay, which is funny because patience was in reverse too. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel in reverse. Judgment, wow. And then the High Priestess. Man, if there ever was a reading about psychic ability, this is it. Literally, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel in reverse. Action, the High Priestess, and Judgment right here. This is a huge spiritual reading. And I'll let you guys in kind of what I'm going through, and then you guys can maybe you're going through the same thing, right? I want to be open and honest on this channel, and I want people to understand that it's okay to have ups and downs. Even if you're doing psychic work, you're doing mediumship, or anything else, it's okay to have ups and downs. Today, for instance, has been difficult for me. Wednesday was hard for me too. But the important thing is to keep testing ourselves and to keep going and moving forward and to try the best we can, right? So when I look at these cards here, this is telling me that if I'm reading for myself, and then hopefully some of you guys can come into this too, we need to be gentle in the process, right? I talk about gentleness all the time on the channel, and I'm never going to stop because that's the one thing that's helped me in my life more than anything else is just being gentle and being there for myself when it's hard to be there for ourselves. And I feel like that's such a huge gift that we can give to ourselves. So we have Judgment, which is spiritual calling or purpose. Then we have the High Priestess, which is intuition, which is kind of like the subconscious. It's being able to reach that psychic center is what I would call it. Then we have action in reverse, and then we have 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel in reverse. So what this is telling me is that we're probably trying too hard to focus on developing psychic ability, and we're not allowing ourselves to go into the flow. I've done that myself. We're focusing too much on the outcome and not enough on the progress that we're making. And we're putting too much pressure on ourselves to get things right instead of allowing ourselves to be curious about the reading and allowing ourselves to dive in deeper into that. And also the shadow side will be coming up with this work as well. When you're doing psychic mediumship work, tarot reading, or whatever it happens to be that's spiritual, you're going to be met with your shadow self over and over and over again in different disguises. And each time you have to lift up the mask and be like, oh, you're my shadow side. You're the parts of myself I haven't healed yet. That's what this is going into. At least that's what I've been going through. And I feel like lately, things that I've been going through, it seems like other people have been going through it too. So I'm just throwing that out there. But to me, there'd be no other way to read this other than that. I'm just throwing my own personal card in the game too and saying, I feel like this is for me. So yeah, so for Saturday, if you guys have any questions or anything, go for it for Saturday. But that's what I'm getting here, and I just want you guys to know that we can get through all this stuff together. There's ups and there's downs, and we just have to let ourselves experience those things, those ups and downs, without letting ourselves get caught up in it, right? Kind of be the observer, so to speak. So that's what I'm seeing so far for Saturday. So let's move on to Sunday. And let's see what we got here. Okay. Sometimes it's just like that, you know, guys. It's just difficult sometimes. I'm trying not to let myself retreat into my shell, but it is hard. It's hard to put yourself out there. But the community is great, and what we're building up is great, and that's what gives me the courage to keep going and to keep doing this, is that there's lovely people out there. But any job has its hard parts. And I just think it's important to recognize that and not see it as a barrier to stopping us from doing what we want to do, but just acknowledging it and saying, yeah, sometimes it's hard. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Let's go on to this here. Alright, and then let's shuffle these ones. And you guys, which pile do you want to start with on this one? Do you want to start with pile 1 or pile 2 for Sunday for the general readings? Let's do this here. Okay, so let's get these going. I'll start with pile 1, and then we'll go from there. Oh, pile 1. Jamie Lee says pile 1. How are you doing, Jamie Lee? Hopefully things are going well. Ah. Pile 1 and pile 2. We're gonna have some stuff going on. So I'll read pile 1 first, and then I'll read pile 2 for Angela. But let's do this, guys. Let's see what we can get here. I'm trying to get as comfortable as I can. Okay. Pile 1. Let's see. Okay, so this... Hold on 1 second, guys. Give me just a second. I'm getting this figured out. There we go. So, Y-Band, I'm just going to be doing pile 1 and 2 for the readings. Okay, hold on a second, guys. There we go. Okay, so we have got this right here. Hey, Kiru, how you doing? Okay, that will work. I am doing good. I'm doing okay today. A little bit off with the psychic ability. I'm just letting people know, but I'm having some issues, but I'm also willing to keep trying, willing to keep going. So as long as everyone understands that I can't always get it right, but I'm trying my best, then we're good, right? So we have this right here. We have Door to Romance. Okay. This is for Sunday. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Woman Holding a Heart. Three of Wands. Thank you very much, Kiru. I appreciate that. And the sun in reverse for Sunday. So whenever I see these cards here, so there could be a love interest coming in. There could be a celebration actually coming in. But when I see the sun in reverse, we could be focusing on, thank you everyone, I appreciate that. That's the reason I keep going, is the community that we've been developing together has been amazing. And it helps me to feel like, even if I feel like I'm having an off day or kind of an off week, you guys come in and you are awesome. So I really appreciate that. Doing good, Brenda. I'm doing good. So when we see the sun in reverse, this always wants to be upright. Whenever I see the sun in reverse, I always look at it like it's a good card even in reverse, but it means that there's an obstacle to something. So there could be a celebration or possibly a love interest coming back into our lives, something we've been waiting for, but there could be us not fully being present with the moment. So if it's not a love situation, it could be a birthday, it could be an event where we should be it could be an event where we should be happy and it's hard for us. What I feel is going on Sunday is that there could be people that are, an appointment came in, possibly a doctor's appointment on a Sunday, which is interesting, but that was what I was feeling. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. I just want to be upfront when I'm experiencing vulnerability, because that's what I want on this channel, is people to come to me with their vulnerability, and so I want to be upfront with mine as much as I can so that you guys know. So yeah, I appreciate everybody though. Thank you so much for meeting that vulnerability with kindness. That really does help me. So the sun card in reverse here, like I was saying, we could just be having an event, we're not present for it, like mentally. We could be off somewhere else. And like I said, I felt like there could be a doctor's appointment, or there could be something where we're kind of spacing out, we're kind of zoning out a little bit. But I feel like things are going well. I feel like things are supposed to be going well, and I feel like they are. But we need to be more present in our lives, and we need to be kind of, I always talk about the gentleness, but we need to have that in the process of bringing ourselves back to the moment and letting ourselves focus on what's important, okay? Making money, doing things like that, yes, that's important, but it's not the reason why we're put on this earth, right? We're here to make connections. We're here to be there for each other and to help other people as much as we can. And I feel like the important things are connection. And I feel like as long as we have one person in our lives that we can share that connection with, that's huge. That's something that I feel like not a lot of people have. So to me, that's fortunate. But that's what I see for Sunday. So let's move on to the next pile here. And let me do this. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next pile. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we have first chakra Archangel Michael in reverse. Okay. Then we have the Happy Family card. Okay. Then we have Ace of Wands. Oh. Slippery little bugger right there. Ace of Wands. And then we have the Chariot in reverse. So Sunday could be, when I see Happy Family, so Happy Family, first chakra Archangel Michael, and the Chariot in reverse, this to me, thank you, Jamie Lee. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So Happy Family in reverse, first chakra Archangel Michael in reverse, and I'll put you on the list actually right now. So do that. I'm curious, SGD. I don't know what that currency is. But I'll put you on the list here. SGD 6. Jamie Lee. Okay, you are on the list, Jamie Lee. Thank you so much for the donation. Okay, so Sunday could be a difficult time. There could be um, something with family coming up on Sunday, which I think is Mother's Day, right? So that would make sense. Some of us could be dealing with a new connection in our lives. So that to me, when I see the Ace of Wands, there could be a new connection or some new passion coming into our lives, a new hobby, a new interest, something that lights us up. Okay, the Ace of Wands is a good card for that kind of energy. Ah, Singapore dollars. Okay, okay. Well, thank you very much. I didn't know Singapore had dollars, so I learned something new every day. But thank you again, Jamie. I appreciate that. So, when I see the Chariot in reverse here, though, this is interesting because we're focusing on there should be fast-moving energy. It's right next to the Ace of Wands. When I see the Chariot in reverse, though, there could be a Cancer individual in our lives that is not necessarily the best. But this could also be something where there's fast-moving energy, but it just stops. Okay, that's another way we can read this. It's very quick-moving energy that just stops. So we could be looking at starting a new passion or a new project. Maybe we find out we don't have money to do it, or maybe we find out that it's a lot harder to do than we thought. So there could be a burst of inspiration, and then there could be a stop of the inspiration because we're not allowing ourselves to fully experience it or to fully understand it for what it is. Like I said, needing more money than we thought, or just having a hard time getting started, right? So then we have this. We have first chakra Archangel Michael in reverse, okay? So this is focusing on building a foundation, or rather leaving the foundation behind. Maybe we're trying to start a passion project, or we're trying to start something on Sunday, and we're literally trying to start at step 5 instead of step 1. And because of that, we could feel like we're being rushed, or we could feel like we're missing pieces, and it's because we are. We need to go back to the basics. We need to see what's going on, and then we need to understand where that's coming from, right? So that's what I'm seeing is going on here, is that we need to focus on like what it is we want to do, and if we even understand what it is we want to do well enough to do it, right? That's what I'm feeling here. So then we have this card. We have Happy Family, okay? This one is in reverse. This card here is literally just saying that there could be a family gathering. It is Mother's Day this weekend, and there could be some unpleasantness during this gathering where maybe we feel like family is harder for us to deal with, or maybe we feel like it's just a difficult situation. So that could be something going on Sunday as well. So let yourself, as I've said before, if there's difficult family connections, but you have to be around them regardless, let yourself not give them any emotional validation. Don't get upset if they say anything, or try not to. Give them very little emotional response to anything that they're doing. Stay very stoic and calm, and then they'll eventually leave, and you can get rid of the connection, and then you haven't given yourself up to that control if there is someone in the family that's trying to manipulate you. So, hello, Frederica, how you doing? So that's what I'm seeing so far for Sunday. So let's go to Monday here, and then we are on to the questions. So let's do this here. All right, I'll be shuffling these cards here. And this is going to be the first weekend. I'm doing well. How about yourself? I'm doing better. I was feeling a little down, but people on the chat are starting to help me to feel better, Frederica. But hope you're doing good too. But, you know, this is going to be the first weekend in like a month where I don't have a place to go, and that is going to be nice. It's going to be a very relaxing, very chill weekend. And I'm looking forward. To that. That'll be nice. Okay. Shuffle these once more, and let's see what we need to know for Monday. You guys can pick pile 1 or 2. I will. I'm definitely going to take a good rest, Jamie Lee. I am definitely going to take a good rest. Relax, chill. It'll be really nice. Pile 2 for Jamie Lee. Okay, pile 2. Frederica. So, Frederica, we're doing pile 1 and we're doing pile 2. There is no pile 3. I mean, I guess there could be, but it would be the invisible pile. Everyone needs a break. So, Kiru's saying pile 1. Frederica's saying pile, or Jamie Lee is saying pile 2. So let's do pile 2, and then let's do pile 1. I think that sounds fair. Seeing as Jamie Lee got in there first. And again, I'm going to give you some... Okay, she's going with 2. Oh, perfect. So let's do this. Let's do some energy cards here. Okay. Okay, you guys. So we're going to move into pile 2 first. So let's do this one, pile 2. Alright, so here's what we get for pile 2. We get envy in reverse. Woman holding a heart, upright. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. And again, Judgment. So this is for Monday, and this is a general reading for Monday. So when I see Judgment in reverse, 6 of Coins in reverse, Envy in reverse, and Woman holding a heart. So all of this to me is saying follow your heart, do what you're passionate about. But don't do something just to earn money from it. If you're passionate about something, get to learn it, get to understand it, and then money can come eventually. But that's what I'm seeing here. The Judgment, so to me this is pretty specific. And I'm actually seeing the word talon. Talon was something that came into my mind. So that word, I don't know why that's coming up, but the word talon or the name Talon is coming in my mind here. But we have, and the word Joe is also, or the name Joe is also coming in. But when we have Judgment in reverse, we have the 6 of Coins in reverse, and we have Envy in reverse, to me it just feels like we're wanting to start something big, but we don't know where to start. And I feel like we're focusing too much on making money and not enough on having fun. And I feel like if we're focused way too much on making money, then we're not allowing ourselves to understand the bigger picture. Because when we die, we don't have a dollar amount on our gravestone, and then we get ranked in heaven for how much, or the afterlife for how much we earned, right? I don't think it works that way. If it does, I'm screwed. Haven't made a ton of money in my life, but I'm working on it, right? So I feel like the best thing for us to do is to focus on just allowing things to happen. A flower allows itself to bloom. It doesn't rush, right? And that to me is what we need to focus on here. Nature has a way of working things out and working things through. It's only the human ego and the mind that wants to speed something up, right? Everything else takes its time, it takes its course, and it does what it needs to. It doesn't even think about it, it just happens. And so that's what I feel like we need to do here. Envy in reverse is good because instead of looking at what other people have and wanting it, we're allowing other people to be happy and we're trying to be happy for them. There could be some wounds here where it was harder for us to understand that. The word courage comes to my mind from Spirit. So this is a courageous move that we're doing. This is an act of self-healing, an act of self-love and care. And I feel like that is something that is huge. And in fact, if we could combine courage and care and call it carriage or carriage. Sounded good in my mind, but then carriage is already a word. So anyway, you guys get what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of stuff going on here, okay? Go back to what you feel like you need to do and let yourself experience it fully for what it is. Don't try and turn it into anything else. As I've said many, many times, it's a path that we're on, and maybe some of us are going back to school, or maybe some of us are going back to just kind of putting ourselves out there, the best thing for us to do is just allow the flow to happen. Okay? Don't keep reaching out to people or situations that you're getting nothing from. Let yourself just be in the moment. And if things present themselves organically, then take that path. But if they're not, if it seems very closed off, then allow other things to come your way. Okay, don't hold on to a specific outcome or an expectation. Let yourself arrive to the conclusion that things are okay over time. So let's move on to the next pile here. Oh, good, Frederica. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. What did you find out? I think we're all a little anxious to know what's going on there. Okay, so let's move on to pile 1. Again. Monday general readings. Financial constraints in reverse. Strategy. Man, this is insane. Judgment in reverse again. Journaling, that's a really good one. The Fool. So the Fool is an interesting card, okay? The Fool is a card that is the number 0 in the zodiac. It's not the first card, it's the number 0. There's a potential for anything. The number 0 is kind of like an egg, right? You know, it has that kind of circular nature. So there's a potential to hatch into anything. There's potential here. There's a lot of soul, there's a lot of spirit here. And the way the Fool operates, even though it's considered the 0 card of the tarot deck, it's also a card of like, you don't know if this person is a master or if they're just crazy, right? You don't know if this person has got it going on or if they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. The Fool appears in a certain way to not have what they need, yet at the same time, everything is going well for them. It's an interesting kind of contradiction, but the Fool is beginnings. When I see beginnings here, so we're starting out, okay, the Fool, financial constraints in reverse, we're starting out, possibly we're making money, or possibly we're doing something that's giving us some sort of leeway. Maybe we get a loan, or maybe something's happening and we're getting this, though, here, strategy, and then judgment in reverse. So these two cards right here, this feels to me like we're focusing on, and then the number 8 comes to my mind as well. The 8th would have been, is tomorrow. Could be the 18th of this month as well. There could be something going on for some of you on the 18th of May. So the strategy here, for some reason I'm getting a lot of star energy. So there could be an Aquarius coming into someone's life. That could be something. But also the star energy, and then maybe something with a bakery. I'm not sure. I'm giving the information as awesome. I'm glad you guys like the poster. I'm glad you guys like that, because that, honestly, it's pretty nice to have in the background, really. Judgment in reverse, strategy right here. I'm yawning. Which sometimes is a sign of spirit. I am feeling spirit right now, so for those of you that need a message, what I feel like is going on here is that Monday is going to be a day where we no longer let our fear guide us in life. We're taking a step, or we're taking a stand. And it doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be something big. It can be something small. Okay, I keep saying it, but we talk about it all the time on the channel. Baby steps turn into big steps. If you take a bunch of baby steps, it turns into one big adult step, right? It turns into actual steps. But I feel like that's an important thing to realize, is that through life, I feel like we're always taking baby steps. We're always kind of on a path. And I feel like on Monday, there's going to be a chance for us to grow and for us to feel a sense of kind of a release or a relief, a feeling like things are actually progressing for us. So Monday is a good day to focus on possible new projects, to focus on starting something, or to be studying something new, right? So that's what I'm feeling for Monday so far. So let's start out here. And let's see how we're doing here. So, Angela is going to be first up. Angela, do you have your questions? Ooh. Okay, so Angela is first, so I'll put her name down here. What do you need to know about Stephen's intentions towards you? Okay. Frederica, I'm awkward when it comes to socializing too. It's a not so fun club to be in, but I think it gets less awkward over time. The more you kind of keep going, I hope. But yeah, I'm awkward socializing too. What do I need to know about Stephen's intentions towards me? So let me see what I can find out here. And Angela, is it okay if I do the psychic, try to tune in psychically and see what's going on? Yeah, Lex, you can absolutely ask a question. So right now on the donation list, there's two people in front of you. I'm reading one of the people now. So if you put yourself on the list, you would be right after Jamie Lee. So I just have two people on the list right now. So now would be a good time to join in. You would be the third on the list. Okay, Angela, thank you. All right, so let's see what we can come up with here. So the first thing I'm getting, Angela, from this person is it's like this it's kind of like this ninja kind of person. I feel like this person is, and we talked about this before, but the energy is presenting itself as someone being hard to catch or someone being hard to understand. Not a ninja in the way that he's like professional at hiding, but I feel like this person has a tendency to go into the shadows and kind of be avoidant. So that's what I'm feeling with this person right off the bat. And then so this person, because I saw a fire, that was something that came up. Has this person burned you in the past? I think we've talked about this a little bit, if this is the same person I'm thinking of. Um, but there's definitely the fire that I was seeing too. And then, yeah, okay. I feel like there's, because we have talked about this a little bit, there's the betrayal, there's a sense of someone who is running. So their intentions towards you, let's see that, because this is kind of giving me backstory a little bit, but let's look at the intentions towards you. He's a fire sign, Sagittarius. That was another thing I was going to ask, if he was a fire sign or not, but I was figuring it wasn't necessarily important to the reading. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, he's, at least for me, but, um, So let me see what his intentions are towards you, because we got a little bit of a backstory. So let me see what we have here. So what are his intentions? Okay. So let me see what I get here. So the very first thing that I get is, so we get running away was one of the things I got, his intentions towards you. And then I don't know if he plays the victim or not. Like he comes back and then he says something and he's trying to play this victim role. But that's what I got, is that this person can go into your empathy and kind of prey on that a little bit, because that was what I had, was running away in empathy. So I feel like this person does things and then they try to ask for forgiveness back, or they try to get back in your life in some way, or they're just distant, they're just gone. But something tells me this person doesn't necessarily play by the rules, so to speak. So I feel like the intentions are to make you feel, how I feel is, but you feel he blew you off. Okay. It ended the other day, but I feel he blew me off. Okay. Makes sense. So let me see what else I can get here. So did he leave? Did he leave your house? Because I know we were talking about that. I'm curious if that actually, he's just, we in the same house. Okay, that makes sense. So he's still there, because I remember that's something you were talking about. Oh, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing here, is that there's a longing towards, there's a longing towards this person wanting things a certain way, and I feel like it's not happening. So the intentions that this person has is kind of like longing for the way things used to be, but they're not willing to do anything to fix things now, if that makes any sense. I feel like there's focus on the past, and that's kind of where they live, but I feel like you want to have someone who's more in the present so that you can go into the future with this person, and I'm not getting those vibes from this person. I don't feel like he's able to step up to that role, right? Does that make sense, Angela? Okay. I feel like with him, and I'm closing down the psychic reading part for this, because it feels like with him, he's not going to understand anything you say and the way you say it, like the way you mean it. I feel like this person's pretty frustrating to deal with. So if you come to them with something, I feel like they're going to try to misunderstand it, or they're going to not really get it. So you didn't do anything to him, Angela. This is something that he's not taking responsibility for. He's probably had issues in his past that he never dealt with, and so now you're dealing with the issues that were in his past, and that's not something you should have to do. You didn't do anything to him. It's not like that. There was already baggage. There was already baggage here before, and it was up to him to pick up his own baggage, not you. Does that make sense, Angela? That's what it means, you know, playing the victim, right? Playing the victim sometimes can look exactly like that. The person tries to lower themselves so that you appear above them, and then they cower in fear from you, kind of a thing. They have this victim mentality, and they feel like, or you feel like you're always mad at them, or they feel like they're always mad at you, whatever it happens to be. They're just trying to take advantage of the situation. You're right in how you want to handle this situation. I don't feel like this person's stepping up. You're getting frustrated, and this person likes to play a card where when you get frustrated with them, they get mad at you for being frustrated as a possibility, or they get. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. It's someone who doesn't take responsibility in their own life for things that have happened to them in the past. So that's what I'm getting with this person. Does that make sense, Angela? That's how it is. Sometimes we go through this. We go through kind of a honeymoon phase, right? Or we go through this phase where we don't see the things that are wrong with the person, or we focus on different things. And then as time goes on, we get to know them better, and we see kind of their faults and their shortcomings. And then what happens, or what should happen in a relationship, is when you see someone's faults or shortcomings, you can help each other through those, right? And you can grow as a couple. I'll look at that. I will look at that, Angela. Um, but uh, like I was saying, so you have these shortcomings, you have these things that happen, and what you want to do is you want to grow as a couple, and you want to work on those shortcomings. You want to be like, okay, here's an area where you could work on something, and here's an area where I could work on something, and then you both help each other to try to meet in the middle, right? We both help to kind of complete each other because we both see something in each other that the other person doesn't see, and then we grow. But a lot of times what happens is that you'll see something wrong in the person, or they'll see something wrong, and then there's no growth because the person feels attacked or picked on, or they don't want to work on themselves. And again, that's yeah, you have tried to help, you've helped him, but it's up to him to want to help himself. You can do everything for him, you could do absolutely everything for him, he'd still be miserable because he's not helping himself, he's not working on his own stuff. If someone else comes in and keeps picking up the slack for this person, they'll never understand their own self-worth, and they'll never understand that. But it's up to him, it's up to that person to want to help themselves. It's not up to you, it never was. And if someone puts that responsibility on you, that's not right. You've had to be there for yourself, and you've had to pick yourself up. So this person should be able to have that for them, right? In this kind of situation, you shouldn't have to deal with someone who's pulling you down constantly, or who's in that kind of thing. There should be some sense of evolution, some sense of freedom in the relationship, so to speak, right? So let's see if he will move out. So I'll draw a card for this one because I closed the psychic part. So let me see if he'll move out. But here's the thing, Angela, is that if he doesn't move out, I'm thinking you can get the cops involved if it becomes something like that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying if it's your house, um, then you kind of. Yes, Frederica was good there. I know sometimes these readings can be kind of hard to hear. I know that's kind of difficult sometimes, but it's sometimes it's just kind of how it is, you know. I wish every reading I gave was rainbows and sunshine, but a lot of times you're revealing things and situations and relationships that just aren't very healthy, you know. And I think you deserve better, Angela. I really do. So let's look here on will he move out? I've noticed that, Angela. Women can handle the bluntness so much better. They just can. They can handle that. I feel like because there's emotional maturity there. You know. Okay, so let's look at this. So, will he move out? I get the strength card here. So will he move out? I'm going to say yes, he will, but it's going to be you being strong. You're going to have to lay down that law. Because we get the strength card. So that to me is a strong card. You have to be strong during this. You can't show any weakness. This person, I feel like if you're trying to kick them out or you're trying to, start something in your life and you want them out of your house, I feel like you can't show any sign of weakness or this person will try to worm their way back in. So you have to be strong and you have to allow yourself to embody that kind of strength and say, I don't want you here. Okay, you need to go. Because it's how he's treating you or how he's not treating you it's not right. You should have a partner, not someone who's just off in the corner doing their own thing. You should have someone who's working on themselves. So that's what I'm seeing here. You just have to be strong, Angela. You probably will, seeing as how the situation is. Basically, yeah. You'll have to be strong. I would say if you have friends, if you have something going on, to to help you in the process, whatever you can do to make it so that this person can kind of go on their merry way, I feel like is going to be the best thing because they're not treating you right. So that's what I'm feeling. And you're, like I said, if the cops have to be involved or if something like that has to happen, I'd say go for it. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully you can ask them to leave, be serious about it, and they just go. And then you do whatever you need to do, block them on social media or whatever you need to do to move into a healing place and just be like, I'm done with you, sever the connection and move on to something better. Because as long as we're entertaining a connection, in my opinion, that's not good for us, then it makes it so that good connections can't happen for us as much. It makes it so we're kind of blocked off to the better connections, the better things out there. So that's what I'm getting, Angela. Not fun things or easy things, but just, something to be aware of, I feel. So, Angela, do you feel like that helps answer the questions? Coming up for me, good. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a little bit of psychic work and see if I can get something coming up for you that's good. This right here is a good thing, right? So we'll do 3 months. We'll do about 3 months time for any time soon, about 90 days. But this is a good thing. It seems bad right now, but trust me, it's good. It's good overall. It's supposed to be a good. So let me do that for you. Let me open this up again here. Okay. First thing that comes up was, thank you, Kiru. Have a good night. You're very welcome, Angela. Very welcome. First thing I was seeing is, are you thinking about adopting a pet, maybe a cat or a dog? Because for some reason, the first thing I saw come in my head was like getting a cat or getting a dog. Um, I'm not sure if that's something you're thinking of doing, but that to me would be, there could be something there. There's something with a cat or a dog. That's why I brought that up. Um, but let me see what else we have here. I feel like I saw a knife being sharpened, so I'm feeling like that's going to be something where you're going to be working on your skills, you're going to be working on sharpening something up, so that's good. Maybe studying or maybe doing something with learning, sharpening our knives, getting something going there. That's what I'm feeling there. Let me see what else we get. Okay, you want to, but you're not sure if it'll be anytime soon. Okay, well, hopefully something happens there. Hot or cold? So we're going to have choices coming in here because I wrote down hot or cold. We're going to have some choices coming up here. And then I smell butterscotch really strong, Angela. I don't know what that means for you, but butterscotch, to me, there's some sweet stuff that's going to be coming up, some really good stuff. So possibly the jobs we've been talking about. I feel like there could be something within the next 90. There could be a possibility within the next 90 days, something coming up. I'm trying to think here though. I like the smell of butterscotch. So to me, that's a sign that good things are coming. But you're going through a rough patch right now. You're going through a time in your life that's going to be kind of a lot of no's, kind of a lot of, uh, you know, you need to deal with it kind of an energy. But then I feel like things will come that are more passive, that are actually positive changes and things that you don't have to strive or work hard for. It's just going to, things are just going to be happening in your life. So that's good. But the hot or cold is interesting. Let me see if I can get more information from the hot or cold that I wrote down here. So give me a second. So, okay, I heard the words. There's some good stuff coming up here. I'm wondering if, because the first thing I heard, anytime counseling came into my head, and I'm wondering, counseling. That might be a good field to look into. Maybe do some counseling or get some counseling, doing something with that because here I was feeling like that would be something good. Maybe kind of organizing our thoughts or our feelings. But the counseling came in pretty strong, so I'm trying to understand. Have you ever looked into psychology, Angela, or have you ever looked into human behavior, anything like that? The way this is kind of wording itself was it felt like there could be a course of study or there could be a course of action possibly involving that. Um, I feel like if that's something you can do, I feel like that would be good. I feel like that would be something that could help you to organize these kinds of thoughts because I get a sense that you're a very strong person. You're someone who goes out and you do things, but I feel like again you're there for other people and you don't necessarily have people that are there that much for you. So I feel like getting in a situation where you could express yourself and you can kind of get things out on the table and talk about stuff in that kind of way would be a good thing. That's what I'm feeling would be something positive. Um, I feel like there's an interest here though with counseling too. I don't feel like it's just necessarily getting counseled. I feel like there's an interest with um, doing something with the counseling or letting yourself maybe possibly someday step into that role, right? You have empathy, you have this kind of this courage that I feel. You have this empathy, you have this courage, and I feel like there's more here that hasn't necessarily been looked at or hasn't been touched upon. I feel like there's a sense of presence with you that would make it so other people would feel comfortable sharing things. Does that make sense, Angela? So that you're very welcome. That's what I'm feeling right now. And Alexis, thank you for your Cash App donation. I appreciate that. You're third on the list. I'm going to do Jamie Lee's reading next. Jamie, are you still there? Okay, Jamie Lee, perfect. So, Angela, hopefully that helps answer your questions, and thank you so much again for the donations. I appreciate that. So, Jamie Lee, may I ask about how MQ will feel and respond if I express interest towards him, torn between deciding if it's the right choice to do so? Okay. So, Jamie Lee, can I ask if I can connect psychically to you, my friend? You're free to say no. I can just do the cards. I understand some people could feel uncomfortable with it, so I can just look at cards. But I'm trying to get better at doing this part here, so. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. So let's write your name down here. So I'll try and connect psychically, see what I can get. First thing I'm getting is it's like I'm seeing a symbol of, I feel like there's a rope, and for some reason I need to do something with this rope. So you're torn between if it's the choice to do something or not. Is there a reason why? Is there like a hurry to say something to this person? Are they leaving? Are they doing something? I'm curious here, like what's happening, because it feels like there's a rush, and the rope to me that I'm seeing, it feels like there's not necessarily. Does that make sense? I'm feeling like there's something that needs to be done, so that's why I'm seeing the rope. So the rope feels like it's short. It feels like there's a window that we have to say something in, or we have to do something in. So I'm curious, is that what's going on? Is there a reason you need to do this kind of possibly quickly? It feels rushed, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It feels like there's something like it's like kind of a quick thing. I don't know. He doesn't think you're interested, I think. Okay. Okay. You're impatient. Okay, so that would make sense. At the end of your rope would be what I would take that as, because psychic ability likes to have a pun. So you're impatient. So I'm going to ask you right now, because I was feeling myself, right? I was going through that motion. It was quick. It was quick, quick, quick energy. So what I'm going to say for you is that I need you, Jamie. I need you to take a step back, and I need you to breathe, okay? Being impatient with this isn't going to make it better. It's just going to drive you nuts. So if we can do that together, we get through this, right? Just breathe with me here, and let's go through this. So let me see what else I can get though. I was just, for me, I was feeling like there was a rush to do something, so that's where that was coming from. So let me see what else I can get. So this, I'm seeing the star again. I'm seeing star analogy here. So are are either one of you an Aquarius? The star card for me is Aquarius, but it's also hope, and it's also it can also be something to deal with distance, which is interesting. So there could just be some distance there. But I did see the star card kind of come into my mind, and I'm wondering where the Aquarius would lie in that as a possibility. Okay, so there's a lot of Aquarius energy here, so that makes sense. So the connection that I'm seeing, it's there's hope. There's hope here. I saw the whole star card, so it wasn't just the star. There's hope here, but there's distance here as well. Does that make sense? So there's the hope here of a possible connection, but there is distance. Possibly because an intention, like you were talking about, has not been made clear. So that's what I'm seeing so far. But let's see what else we can get here. You stay at opposite ends of Singapore. Well, that makes sense too. So the distance right there, that's kind of a big deal. Um, so the Aquarius star card would cover both of those things, right? So, and again, I'm having, and my tooth, I'm tasting something kind of, okay. So I'm going to ask you this, Jamie Lee, the last interaction that you had with this person, was it a good interaction? Was it a bad interaction? What happened? I had a kind of a bad taste in my mouth. I'm wondering if maybe that was kind of a distance thing where there was an interaction that wasn't necessarily something we were looking forward to. I could be wrong, but that was something. I had a bad taste in my mouth. I was just curious. It's a bad taste. And then I feel like there's a sense of needing to kind of, again, it goes with that impatience, right? It goes with that kind of fast moving energy. I'm seeing popcorn. Okay, popcorn to me is like it's just boom, it's done. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. It was a good one. Maybe on your end, there's something going on there where I'm curious because I had a taste in my mouth that was interesting. It was like I was tasting something that was very sour or bitter. So that's why I brought that up. But right here, so then we have the popcorn analogy, which to me is quick moving energy. Um, it's kind of like you're talking and then boom, your intentions are known, or boom, something's happening. And that's not necessarily a bad energy to have, but I feel like if it's brought on too strong, it can be something that drives the person away because it's like really fast moving energy. So again, that's kind of a slowdown that I would think to go into. Um, okay, so let me see what else I can get here. So I'm going to ask you this. So Jamie Lee, you guys are at the opposite ends of Singapore. You said, um, what is this I'm seeing? So I'm seeing a hanger for like a suit or something. Are you guys going to be meeting in person soonish? Because that's what to me, if I see that, that's kind of what I was seeing. It was a suit. I don't know how big Singapore is. For all I know, it's 3 miles long. I don't know. So if you guys are on opposite ends of it, it might not be that big of a trek. But I'm just curious if there's going to be a meeting. We're colleagues. We meet every weekday. Okay, you meet every weekday. Of course you do. When you said opposite ends, all right. The suit though is interesting because I saw the hanger for the suit. So the connection you guys have is just kind of that. It's just your work colleagues. There's kind of that right there. So there's not anything further in the line right here. So let me see how he feels, right? Okay, it is very small. All right. That's what I was thinking. Okay. So Is this person's more professional minded because I heard the word business as usual, or I heard the words business as usual. So I feel like this person's more. Is this person more serious? Would you say? Like, are they serious, kind of get work done, kind of a thing, or are they? Do they have a sense of humor about them? He's not that serious, I think. Okay, the serious one is you. You don't seem very serious to me, but okay, I'll take your word for it. So is there a connection here to? Oh, at work. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So we got some seriousness at work. You know what? That's good. Get your shit done. Get out of there. Do what you need to do. So we have this right here though. So I have the word Cyprus come into my mind, and I think that's in Greece. I don't know if there's any connections there with you and him or anything that you do, but the place Cyprus came in, and I feel like it's talking about the place. So I don't know if that has anything to do with what you do. That was something that came in, and if that doesn't make sense now, that's fine. Again, that's something that I had. Um, so I'll ask a question here. Let's focus on let's focus on how would he feel if you were to come up to him and ask and declare your intentions, right? So how will he feel if I okay? How will he feel and respond if I express interest towards him? Okay, so that's a good question. So let's look at that. So how will MQ feel if we express interest towards him? First thing I get was shock, kind of like an oh kind of a thing. But let me see what else I get. So the first thing I'm getting, we would have shock, and then we would have this person. I feel like this person would do research, or this person would try to understand what exactly happened. So the first thing that would happen would be shock, and then this person would kind of go and do their own thing for a while, and then I feel like they would come back. But I feel like there's not. I feel like the best way for this connection going forward is baby steps. Okay, small steps leading up to a bigger kind of thing. Maybe flirting, maybe getting to know each other better. I feel like just saying I like you, I feel like that would kind of spook him. And I know you said you're impatient, and but I feel like the patience part is pretty important. Okay, I feel like flirt. Maybe ask him what his favorite food is, or ask him what he likes, and then maybe bring that into work one day. Show that there's an interest with you. Show that there's something there, but not saying anything necessarily. Just showing that that you're interested and that you're showing care in that way. That's what I'm feeling here. So my best bet for you would be to build up a connection with him slowly so that it's not scary. It's like there's these progressive little nodes that you get into, and then you go up to the next one, you go up to the next one. And each time you do that, you become more comfortable with each other. I feel like just saying, I like you, or definitely don't say I love you if you don't know this person too well, but if you just say I like you, yeah, express it without words. That's what I'm feeling would be the best thing to do. I feel this person is someone who's more up in their head, and I feel that this person um, would overthink things. But if you kind of gently guide it down that path, I feel like there would be a much better turnout around that. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling for that. Jamie, does that answer your question? And pay attention to the cypress grease that I mentioned, because that might be something that comes up. That came through really strong for some reason, so pay attention on if something's happening. Okay. All right, so hopefully that helps answer the question. I'm going to go to, Lex, are you there? You're very welcome, Jamie Lee. You are so welcome. Don't even worry about it. But Lex, if you're there, again, thanks for your donation, and I can do your reading now. How do people... Okay, perfect, Lex, perfect. How do people view me as a key holder? Should I be worried? So Lex, okay, so Lex, tell me here, when you say a key holder, um, what does that mean exactly? A key holder in a stock company, a key holder... I'm just curious. It's okay. Hey Lex, it's okay. This is calm time, right? This is you come here, there's no judgment. We're just going to be talking, okay? A manager. Oh, a manager. Okay. Okay. So don't worry at all about anything. If I say something, and particularly if I say something you don't understand it, have me repeat it. I'm not going to get mad. We're going to be doing this together. We're going to be uncovering things together. I want you to relax as much as possible, right? But if anxiety's there, that's okay. That's okay. At home goods, okay. So just don't worry about this. I got you. It's a gentle process. I promise. Doesn't hurt. You're very welcome, Lex. Don't you worry about that at all. So, um, would it be okay, Lex, if I tried to do some psychic stuff here? All of this is new to me, so with finances especially, if I can't get anything psychically, then I can go to the cards, but we can try doing this here. So we go like this. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I just make a list. I make like a little list here, and then I write things down, just so I can keep things in track here. Let me see here. So, Lex, is it so? The first thing I saw was a dinosaur, which to me, you're taking the key holder. You're taking a management role, right? Possibly in front of these other people. So, were there other people that were possibly in line for this job that have been working there longer than you have, and now you feel like there could be some like you feel like people might resent you because you raised up in the ranks quicker? Is that something that's going on? As I get these psychic impressions, I'm learning how to translate them. So it's helpful to have the kind of guide here. I have a feeling, yes. Okay. Um, okay. So there could be something there. To me, though, when I saw the dinosaur, it was like a toy dinosaur. So I feel like this is just something that we're thinking is happening. I feel like people are upset, yes, but I don't think they're going to call you out on it. And I don't think there's going to necessarily be any grudges that are held. But there are people that I feel like they'll have you prove yourself. That's going to be something I feel like is going to happen. But I don't feel like it's going to be too difficult. but I feel like that's going to be a situation you need to rise to, so to speak. So let me see what else I can get here. Okay, so I had a strong voice, more of like an urge coming in here, and it was just someone saying, um, press it, right? So what I feel here is that taking out on this key role is going to be difficult because I feel like we need to be more assertive, and because we need to be more assertive, we're going to have to find a new kind of path for ourselves. I don't feel like it's going to be particularly well. I actually do feel like there's going to be some challenge here because you're taking on more of an administrative role, and you're going to have to be there for people, and you're going to have to tell people how to be there for the company. So this is going to be something that can be tricky, right? So does that make sense? Is being assertive, is that something that's a little bit harder for you, like telling people what to do or telling people how to be? Because that was coming through as kind of an issue, so I was just curious. They are lazy. Okay. So you have no problem. Okay, Brenda, if you want to do that, we can absolutely do that. Um, Liz can help you out with those links there. I think she just posted them. They don't want to work and you feel like you are already intimidating. Okay. So then the press it that I saw could have been you trying to get them to work, pressing their buttons, so to speak. So there could be something there, especially if you're a go getter and everyone else is kind of used to skating by. There could be something there for sure. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. Just give me 1 second, Lex here. That. And then let me do. I'll put that there. Okay. Okay, so Lex, what I'm feeling from this is that you're going to be coming in there and you're going to be shaking things up, and people might have a problem with it. But the only way that I feel like it can go badly is if you show the fear, right? I feel like if you go in there and you're strong, and you let people know how it's going to be, if you're the manager, that already gives you a sense of power and control in the situation, and you can just say if you don't like it, you can leave. I feel like that's going to be good because when I did have the press it come up, that means you will have to be assertive. You will have to be that kind of not a dominating energy, but an energy that doesn't put up with bullshit, right? And that's kind of a hard thing to do. I'm not going to lie, that's not going to be a fun thing, but you're already seeing them as lazy. You're already seeing them as people that need help, and they can either rise to the occasion or you can find people that will rise to that occasion. You're the manager. Your job literally depends on your team. If your team isn't meeting up to your expectations, you're the one that gets fired. So there has to be some accountability here, and I feel like you asking for that, I don't see anything wrong with that, right? Does that make sense so far, Lex? Basically, I feel like you're gonna need to be this person that, like, be fair, be just, obviously, but you're going to need to be kind of a hard ass with these people if they're feeling lazy or if they're feeling that kind of way. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing here. And that isn't necessarily the funnest role to be in, but you're not there to have fun. You're there to make money, and you're there to hopefully help other people make money, and you're there to, enrich the lives of people that visit the store, or basically That's what a manager does. You're managing. So let me see what else I can get here. So right before you said that, I'm sorry your PayPal isn't working, Brenda. Yeah, try Super Chat. It should work through Super Chat. If you want to do one question, 5. If you want to do 3 questions for 10, right? So do it that way if that's what you want to do, Brenda. I'm just letting you know. Just, you know. Does your boss see you as responsible? So the first thing that I heard before you even typed, does my boss see me as responsible, is belt up. Belt up, you wear the belt, you have the pants kind of a thing. I feel like your boss sees you as responsible. This is a test, though. This is to see if you can actually pull it off. Your boss does see you as responsible, but he's also seen you. I feel like there's a sense of wanting to watch you grow or wanting to see what you can do in the situation. So, in a way, this is a test, but in another way, you've already proven yourself. Lex, does that make sense? That's what I'm seeing here. I feel like you wouldn't be put in charge if it wasn't the case there. So that is what I'm seeing there. Okay, so let's do this here. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, Brenda. You are on the list. Thank you so much. Is your love life going to change? We could look at that. So we're done with the career part, so let's look at the love life question here. Okay. Yeah, because you got this. I honestly feel like you got this. I feel like you were sweating the details, so to speak. We're getting pretty sweaty, but I'm feeling like there's a sense here where you got this. Did you leave anything open at work tonight? You mean like physically? Like the door is open or like a cabinet or something? I'll keep this paper right here. Okay. Okay, so Liz, put Lex, Joanne, and then Brenda on there. We had someone named Joanne donate through Cashapp. I should have said that earlier. You had no way of knowing that, so I should tell you. But there is a Joanne for you, Liz, if you wouldn't mind. Well, let's do this. So let's address this question here. So you said, is my love life going to change? And oddly enough, in a very weird way, the cards fell down. So I pulled this card here, and this is emotional freedom. So I feel like it will change for the better. Emotional freedom, though, is about establishing a sense of self-trust and boundaries. So this to me is good. I feel like love life will change. I feel like it's going to be a minute. I don't know if you're still dealing with the hurt, if something that happened, or if you're in a relationship that could be kind of difficult. I'm not sure. I had hurt or soreness coming in, and I feel like that to me is dealing with kind of the love connection vibe is what I was feeling. But leaving anything open at work, and I'll address the love question a little further here in just a second. Let me turn this paper over. So, Lex, did you leave anything open at work? No, you're single. Okay, okay. So, I feel like we did as good as we could leaving work. So, I get the term all good. And then I feel like, so Lex, when you left things at work, did you check and check? Did you check a few times before you left things to make sure everything was okay? Or did you just leave? Because I'm feeling like I'm looking and I'm seeing what's going on. I feel like you're diligent is what I'm trying to say. So I feel like if something did happen, I think you'd be okay, but I feel like things are okay here. Okay. That's what I was feeling. It's like I checked, I checked, I checked. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're just overthinking it. You're overthinking it to the point where you're getting yourself stressed out. I think everything's fine. And if something didn't go well, I feel like the boss would understand. But I feel like everything's good because I heard all good. Okay? I walked a couple of times. I had a feeling. I had a feeling that's what was going on. So you got that. You don't worry about that. Okay? Let's go back to the love question though. That was one of your questions. Hopefully that's okay. Let's go to the love question and see what we got here, because you are so welcome, Lex. So let's look at the love part. So we had emotional freedom, right, coming in, and I'm feeling like that is. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Where's the. There we go. There we go. Much better. Sorry, my laptop fan was turning up. I don't know if you guys could even hear that, but it was getting kind of noisy. Okay. So we have this emotional freedom card here. Um, so I'm gonna say this right here for you, Lex. We have abandon, return, and betrayal. And I don't know if any of these words apply, but they were the first words that came up. The abandon, the return, and the betrayal. So I feel like we're still healing from certain things. So did the last relationship you had, was there some things left unsaid, maybe some wounds that were triggered that happened here? Because it feels like in the love part, it feels like we're dealing with some stuff here. It feels like we're dealing with some emotional stuff still. That has happened already. Okay, so the abandon, the return, the betrayal. So that makes. Okay. So then focusing on healing is going to be a huge part to get to this place here where we're looking at the emotional freedom card. Here's something I feel like is important because Spirit's having this come through, or rather the psychic message. So I feel like we don't need to. Right, you're right. So here's what I feel like we need to focus on for you. All right, if you don't mind me saying this. First off, my nose is itchy as hell. Like the inside of it, I don't know what that's about. Very itchy. But secondly, the actual message that you came to hear, because unless you're paying me money to itch my nose, which by the way, I need to do that. I need to have people do that. But here's what I'm feeling here is that we don't need to we don't need to hold on or cling on to feeling basically appreciated by another person. This is something that I feel like spirits haven't come through pretty strong. We do not need to be in a situation where we are treated as lesser than and accepted. That's not part of why we signed up for life, right? That's not part of what's going on with us. I feel like for us to be treated and accepted with decency, kindness, and respect, that should be the bare minimum. That's what we're asking for in a partner, no matter what. That is the bare minimum that we should accept from another person. If a person doesn't see us, we shouldn't have to beg to be treated with common decency. And I feel like there's a tendency to overdo things, to try to um, think that there's something we could do differently in these situations. And basically, it comes down to we need to get ourselves into a good place first. We need to heal so that we don't keep attracting these kinds of people in our lives where we have to keep second guessing and wondering what they're thinking. Or even worse, you come on here and ask me what so and so is thinking, which is okay. That's okay that people ask, but it's nice if you can ask the person yourself because they're next to you and you have open communication, right? That's the dream. We want to have open communication with a partner. Perfect. You cut off people that do not serve. Perfect. So that's really good. You're still in the healing part. I feel like you're doing good though. And I'm feeling like there could be someone coming up. It feels like it's going to be a little while. I saw a collage, which to me is like it's gonna take some time. It's going to be a group effort, so to speak. There could be a few people that come in. I don't feel like those will necessarily be for you, but I feel like there's that one person that's kind of out there that can come in. And I know that sounds vague, but that's just what I'm getting here. So if we're focused on this in the love life scenario, hey Bittersweet, how you doing? That's just what I'm feeling for the love life scenario going on here. So let yourself keep healing, and you'll attract the people you need to attract. Make sure, like you said, cut off people that don't serve you. Okay. Okay, so the collage, there's going to be a few people coming in, and you can do whatever you need to do. You know, you can live your life however you want to live that way. If you're looking for something a little more long-lasting, then I would say it's going to be a little while for that. But the collage, there is going to be more people coming in. So just allow yourself to be open to the connection. You should be good to go. But I would say 2 to 4 months, I'm feeling like there's going to be maybe 1 to 2 people in that time, maybe more. Actually, maybe 3. But that's just what I'm seeing for the moment. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Lex. Okay, so let me see what we have here. You're very welcome, Lex. You're very, very welcome. Thank you again for the donation. I appreciate that. Okay, so now we have, so Joanne, are you there? I don't know if you have a username on here. I'm not sure what your actual username is. I usually don't go with that, but I did get a payment from Joanna. So I'm just curious. Yeah, there we go, Joanna and Brenda. Hey, buddy. Yeah. You tell all those kitties what's going on. Yeah. Ow. You got a lot of stories. Don't you, buddy? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. You're a good boy. Okay, so if there is no Joanna for right now, or Joanne, then he is very cute. And he's leaving. He's deciding to move on to greener pasture. Ouch. Okay, so Brenda, because there's no other person right now. So Brenda, do you want to ask your question? All right, Brenda. Let's see. I'll see what I can pick up psychically. You are welcome, Brenda. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Joanna. Okay, Joanna Love. Okay, so Joanna, thank you so much for the donation. And I'm reading Brenda now, and then I'm going to go to your reading. Is that okay? So, Brenda, the very first thing that I got was with Hassam. I got the word icy. So I'm curious what's going on there. Is there I can't remember what we've talked about this connection before. I cannot remember what we talked about. Very first thing I got though was icy. So I'm wondering if this connection is cold right now or what's going on because that was the first thing that came in. I'm wondering if they're talking to you or if they're, what they're doing. We just met. Okay. So this is interesting. So the icy part here, not too long ago, are they acting? We do talk. Good. Okay. Are they acting distant? Are they acting a little more distant than you would want them to? Maybe being a little standoffish or. Okay, we do talk, but not that much. Okay. So that's what I'm feeling. So you're feeling like there's. You're feeling like there is a connection, but there's also not a connection, right? So the iciness would kind of come into play where it's like we talk, but not that much. So possibly there's a sense of there being a closed offness here. Okay, let me see what else I get here. You're good, Brenda. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Respond when you can. So I had two words that came into my head, which was bored and well. Bored well, bored well. So I'm just curious here. Is this the first person you've had like possible romantic thoughts about in a while? Were you healing from another relationship before? Because the bored well to me is like we're closing ourselves off for a little bit, like we've been hurt in the past. So we close ourselves off, and now this person maybe might be trying to revive that for us. Hey, Red Sun, what's up, buddy? Sure, I can do that. So I'm gonna just say whatever comes, and you can rewind it later. This is for Brenda, so let me see what else I can get here. So I'm getting for this connection. I feel like we're holding on. Would be the words that came through. Holding on to this connection. So I feel like we've put. Thank you, Red Sun. I appreciate that, my friend. Doing my part, trying to do it. Um, I get a sense of holding on, like we're holding on to this connection, or we're holding on to the way this person is. I feel like we're spending a lot of time possibly thinking of how to connect with them, but I don't necessarily think we're focusing on how to connect with ourselves so much here. And when I say that, I mean I feel like there's a lot of attention that's put into this connection, and I don't know if Assam even knows about it that much, right? I feel like you're putting in a lot more of the effort, possibly to start the conversations or possibly to do something like that. Um, I just get a sense that this Hassam is a little bit more of a slippery fish, so to speak. So I feel like we're holding most of the connection, and I feel like he's not necessarily understanding that we're holding most of the connection. So let me see what else I get though. So I can hear now. Good. Okay. So perfect. I'm glad you can hear it. So holding on is what I had first, but then I had reserved here. So I'm thinking this is for him. I'm feeling a sense of reserved energy, but then I'm getting this too, and I'm wondering what is the fire sign that I'm seeing. I'm literally seeing the Japanese symbol for fire, and I'm wondering, is he a fire sign, maybe a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries? Or are you a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries? Because the fire symbol came up. You're the fire sign. Okay. Is he a Capricorn? Or an earth sign? A Leo. Oh, you're the fire sign. A Leo. Okay. I got you, buddy. Come on. You act reserved when you're with him. Okay, so is this really... So the reserved acting that you have when you're with him, because I'm taking my time to know him. Yes, he is a Capricorn, I think. Okay, so right here, the reserved part, you're taking your time to know him. That's good. That's really good. But I think the it's good you're taking your time to know him. I think that's actually really good. Patience is coming in as well, which is what you're demonstrating, which is good. You're not trying to hurry up the connection, but I get a sense that this person has a feeling of like you need to hurry up the connection even though you don't want to. And maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but I get a sense of like this person's interest may be hard to get a hold of, or this person may kind of like wander off, kind of a thing. I feel like maybe this person has you second guessing sometimes. So Brenda, does that make sense? Maybe he does. Okay. Okay. Because we don't know. We don't know yet. Okay, so that does make sense. Okay. Okay, so okay. Who's the who's the outcast here? I heard the term outcast in my head, and I'm wondering, do you feel like an outcast, or does this person call themselves an out? For some reason, this word came in, and I'm just curious what kind of context this would have. It's hard to find it. I'll take another drink here. You think he feels that way about himself? Okay. So then what I feel like you need to do is don't play into the games here. And when I say this, I mean feeling, because I had the bored well thing at the start. Um, that was one thing that came through was bored well. So this person is, when he gets bored, well, he wanders off. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. So I feel like what you need to do is you need to, um, I get a sense of wanting you're taking your time, right? And you're being patient. But I feel like with this person's energy, you're taking your time, you're being patient, but if they act uninterested or disinterested, I feel like there's a tendency for you to want to reach out more and to try to get their attention back. And I feel like that's not a game you should have to play. If this person is doing that, I would say let them go on their way. If that's not the case, though, but you need to be in your own center court, so to speak. You shouldn't have to be playing this kind of game. And if this person wants to kind of do their own thing and they want to do that, that's not right. All you're doing, you're not even playing a game. You're just seeing who this person is. But yet they're doing this thing where it's like, hurry up, get this going, kind of an energy, or I'm bored, or I need to leave, or I need to do this. Don't play into that game. That's not something you should have to play into. Go at your speed, go at your pace, because that's what I'm seeing is going on there. So my feeling with this connection moving forward, you're the one in charge. Okay, this person wants to act like they have power in the situation. They don't. Okay, let them figure that part out. But don't feel like you ever have to hurry or rush to express yourself, or that the person gets disinterested and wants to walk away. If they want to do that, just say, okay, bye. Like, don't entertain it. And if they really want to play that game, then don't message them. Don't text them. That's not right that people are like that. And if you're showing too much interest as well, people can do that. People have this thing and they want to feel wanted, and sometimes they play games to get there, and that's not right. And you shouldn't have to play that. So that's what I feel, Brenda, with this connection is that um, you should go at the pace that you set for yourself. So does that help you, Brenda? I feel like you know this without me saying it. That resonates 100%. So I feel like you know it without me saying it. I feel like you already have a good head on your shoulders. You understand what I'm saying. You get it. And so, and you've already been thinking about that. So, yeah, just focus on letting yourself be who you are. Focus on letting yourself feel like you can express yourself. And if you're around this person, you're still figuring them out, but you have to act incredibly reserved around this person, that's not a good sign either. You should be able to express parts of your personality, and you should be able to feel a sense of like you're that Leo energy, right? You should be able to pump up that fire. I just needed confirmation. Okay. Hey, hopefully that helped you, and thank you for doing that, for donating to the channel as well. I appreciate that. I'm gonna close this window here. You're very welcome, Brenda. Thank you. Okay, Joanna, if you want to go ahead and ask your question. Yes, yes, Joanna, you go for it. You ask your question, it is your turn. Thank you so much for helping support the channel. Okay, ask your question whenever you're ready, Joanna. I am right here with a grocery list in my pocket. And I'm going to set that over here. Yeah, go for it, Joanna. Post your question and let's. Yeah, I can see. I already bought it. I had to get some. It was. Yeah, I can see you, Joanna. Just some probiotics, some coffee, some gum, stuff like that. So it was a small list. I did that before I did the live. She might be back in time a little bit. Sometimes these kind of lag. Me too, Brenda. I always got to have coffee. So Joanna, can you Are you caught up with the video right now? Yeah, you probably couldn't hear me if you weren't. Need to work on that. Okay, Joanna, so post your question, and then I can answer it for you. Hopefully it's okay if we tune in psychically and try and get something here. Might be a longer question. I'll just wait. Sometimes it takes a while to post them. But I am still getting my psychic and mediumship class put together for those of you who want to learn. I should be talking with my... Okay, here we go. Is Martin going to fix our relationship or should I leave him? We are 8 years together. That is a good question, Joanna. Let's look and see what we can find. Let's do this. Is it okay, Joanna, if I tune in psychically? Just want to ask so that I'm not... or we can just use the cards. Either way, we can do that. Okay, so... see what I can get here. Very first thing I had come up in this is the name Avery, and I'm wondering what that means. Joanna, would the name Avery mean anything to you? Or like an A name? But to me it was Avery. Okay, so Joanna, first thing I'm getting was the name Avery. Then I had connection come up, and it's feeling like you guys are just barely missing each other. I feel like I'm almost seeing like someone trying to uh, plug into the wall, and they're kind of just barely missing it, and they're just barely missing it. They're, it's like can't get the plug in, And so I'm feeling like it's this sense of someone saying they'll work on it, they'll change, and then they kind of miss the mark, or they don't change, or they don't work on it. So I'm feeling like there's a sense of frustration here, obviously. So, Joanna, does that make sense so far? Disconnect was another word that came up, and then I had a feeling of waiting, and I feel like I'm being on hold. I feel like I'm waiting on the phone. I feel like I'm being on hold, and this to me feels like, you're waiting for something better to happen. You're waiting for things to kind of change, but I don't feel like they're necessarily changing. It feels like things are staying the same. There's frustration here, and I've said that twice. I think I've said that twice now. Is there a sense of you talking to um, Martin, and then there's no action taken towards the relationship? Like, have you brought things up with him, and he'll say he'll change or he'll work on it after an argument, and then nothing happens? Is that kind of what I'm seeing here, or is it a little more closed off than that? Have you even told him that you're frustrated? Okay, so Joanna, can you hear me? I'm just curious. I usually do a little back and forth so that I can understand the situation a little bit better, but I'm not getting any feedback on my end here. If not, that's okay. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So, Joanna, is what I'm saying making sense so far? Let's see what else we can come up with here. No, you're okay, Joanna. You're okay. Um, can you hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me now. It's okay. I appreciate you saying you can't hear me, right? Because then I can just tell you the message again. Okay, so okay. So what I have here is the first word I had was Avery. I don't know if the name Avery means anything to you, but that was something that came up. But then I have connection and disconnect, and then I had waiting. So I'm feeling like, and I said it's like trying to plug a plug in, and you're not quite getting there. The plug is missing, trying to be plugged into the wall or the outlet. So I'm feeling like there's been this disconnect for a little while here, that this person has probably said, I'm going to try and change, if you've even brought it up to them, and then they don't show you any progress, or they're still avoidant, or they're still acting like it's not a big deal, something like that. That's what I'm feeling. So with this person, have they said things like, I'll try and change or I'll work on it after an argument, but then there's nothing that happens? Or have you even gotten to that point? Can you even talk to this person about these issues? Okay. Okay, so now I'm being brought to this thing where I feel like maybe your partner, Martin, right, would say you're making a mountain out of a molehill kind of a situation, and I don't feel like that's what's happening at all. I feel like your own feelings, your frustrations are yours, and for someone to tell you that's not true, that's not right. If you're feeling frustrated or you're feeling upset, I feel like you're valid in feeling that way. And if someone's trying to diminish those feelings, that's not good, right? So I get a sense of someone who's more closed off, who's more or less not open to um, they're not open to truth, or they're not open to understanding would be the way I would see this. So I get a sense of someone who would rather live in a lie and think that everything's fine than work on their own issues coming into this. So that's what I'm feeling here. Um, does that make sense so far, Joanna? Okay, so your your emotions are yours. You get to own those. Okay, you get to say how you feel. No one else can tell you how to feel because that's you. So this right here, this is an important thing where you should be able to be upset, angry, sad, curious, happy. There shouldn't be anyone telling us that these emotions are wrong or that these emotions are right. We should be the ones deciding what's up for us and going into that kind of scenario. So if you are frustrated and you've tried talking to this person, my honest interpretation of this situation is that um, I get a sense of feeling almost insane. Like I feel like it's kind of the same lessons. I feel like it's kind of the same thing happening, even though there should be evolution, there should be working on something, there should be a sense of resolution in the relationship, and that's not happening. If it's been 8 years and you've been expecting this person to change, then I feel like that's doing you a disservice to keep expecting it, because I don't feel like this person's proving themselves to be even worthy of the title of being able to change in the first place, right? Because they should have shown you something a while back that they were trying. The fact that you're coming on here and you're talking to me about something like this tells me that it is frustrating and that you're really wondering what the hell's going on. So far, does that make sense, Joanna? I'm gonna take another drink here. There's no point in being with someone. There's no point in being with someone that doesn't see your worth or your value and that doesn't appreciate you for being who you are in the relationship or for doing all that you do in the relationship. If this person views that and they don't see it, they don't see your contribution to the relationship, even though I think it's huge, then they're missing out, right? That's not something you should be put into. The person should always be grateful to have you in their life. If you're a life partner, if you're working together to build something, a life together, there should be this sense of like, this person has your back. You can come to this person. But if there's this sense of like, there's fear or there's regret or there's a sense of wanting to like lean back and get away from the person, right? Or feeling, this is a huge one right here, feeling more alone when the person is sitting next to you than you do when you're by yourself because you can't connect with this person anymore. That one's a hard one. But that is something that if you're feeling that way, then I don't think the person's willing to change. I feel like you've said your mind, you've said things, and this person doesn't necessarily understand it or even want to change, and that's difficult. That's, of course, hard. But my feeling is you've tried, and you tried for 8 years, okay? And I'm sure things were good in the beginning, but that's the honeymoon phase. That's when we don't necessarily see the faults of the person, right? Everybody has faults. Every single person on this planet has faults, and we're not supposed to be faultless. That's not what the name of the game is. But what we're supposed to do is show our partner that we can work on the areas where we have shortcomings and then try and get better so that in turn we can help our partner with their shortcomings to get better. And there's that sense of relationship evolution that I've been talking about. So, Joanna, does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Okay. So, that's what I'm feeling. I feel like, and this is hard, right? But you're someone who deserves love. You're someone who deserves appreciation in their life. And I feel like moving on would be a much better thing for you to do than staying into a relationship where you're hoping they change. You're hoping that it gets better. You're hoping that it'll be this thing. You're breaking your heart every day that you wake up and you're hoping for something in those regards, because you can control how you are, you cannot control how another person is, and you should find that person and bring them into your life rather than hoping that this person that isn't meeting your needs changes, right? And you are very welcome, Joanna. You are very welcome. Okay, so that's all the paid readings for now. Absolutely, Joanna. So, and I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard to go through it at first. This is going to be a very difficult situation, but once you understand kind of how you're feeling, and once you have your alone time and your time to process this, you're actually going to be much stronger because of it, because you're going to realize what you will and won't allow in your life anymore. So this relationship was for you to understand what you don't want love to look like and what you do want love to look like. The fact that you are getting frustrated means you have boundaries and it means you have limits. And in your next relationship, you can definitely do that, where we focus on establishing boundaries, we focus on establishing limits, and we let ourselves uh, attract the right person to us because we're no longer coming from maybe an injured perspective towards love with a partner. And I talk about it all the time on the channel. I haven't mentioned it lately, but the book from School of Life, you can go on Amazon, type in School of Life. Elaine de Botton has a book called The School of Life, and it is about a lot of things, but one of the chapters in the book is about relationships, and it is really good. It's really good, and it's something that can open your eyes to understanding that love is actually a skill that we build up over time. It's not something we inherently know. It's a skill that we need to build up because love can become muddled when we're younger. We think our mom and dad, they have the perfect relationship, and a lot of times that's not the case. And so we need to understand what that looks like as we get older, what good, true love actually looks like. And sometimes we don't have any of those examples growing up. And the book kind of talks about that. So that could be something you could check out. So, there's something you could check out there. But yeah, hopefully that helps you, Joanna. School of Life, it is a yellow book on Amazon, and it shows a guy's head, and you can do it that way. And yes, I do private readings and stuff as well, as Liz just mentioned right there. So if anyone's interested in that, go right ahead. Go right ahead and make my day, pup. But no, seriously, so hopefully that helps, Joanna. And know your worth. Your weight in gold. You know, you have that. You have that shine, so you got this. Okay, so that's all the paid readings for now. So, you're very welcome, Joanna. Well, we got a few directions we can go in here since all the paid readings are done. Hold on, let me take a drink here. Okay. So I can't... Okay. Alrighty, I'm just going to do this really quick. Oh, nope. What are we doing here? Hold on a second, I accidentally dragged that. There we go. Hey, buddy. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. I will come back, and then we'll decide what we're doing next. Okay, guys? So give me just a second here. Oh. Okay. Alright, so while we're waiting here, I can put this off to the side. If anyone has any questions that are just kind of relating to whatever, we can do that. And yeah. Can't really see how many people are on the chat. I'm assuming it's a little slow, and that's okay. Wish I could see how many people are on the chat. That'd be interesting. I'll take another drink here. How's everything going with you, Liz? And thank you for being the moderator. You've been doing a really good job. Oh, it says 3. Well, alright. That works for me. How are you liking the job that you started, Liz? Are you still doing the, you were doing the vaccines, right? Good, good. I'm glad everything's good. I am definitely glad. It's, I think my cat just killed a toy and he wants to talk about it, so if you hear him screaming, that's what he's doing. He kills a toy and he thinks he's It's adorable, but it's also kind of very loud. Let's put it that way. Okay, so we could do a little bit of energy work here. So when you say a new location, is it like you're outdoors and you're giving people immunizations like a bunch of people, they stand in a line and then you give them a shot? Is that kind of what's going on? Not you giving them a shot necessarily, but you're helping prep people and making them comfortable? So I have to start all over. That sounds like a... That sounds kind of difficult. Okay, that's what I was thinking it was. That makes sense. All right. So you're starting over in the new... for some reason, I'm thinking of it being in like a parking lot kind of a thing, but I'm not sure if that's like you set up a van or something and you do it that way. That would be how you could do it, I guess, right? Give people that kind of option. Well, since we're... yeah, that makes sense. You get used to people, you get used to their energy. I can understand that. So you get used to them, and then you have to move to a new place. That makes sense. Kind of a... Okay, so you are actually going to two different places. Okay. Anaheim Convention Center, but now this location's at a school. How are the people doing with the shots? Are they getting side effects? I've been hearing some pretty wicked side effects come from some of these shots, these vaccines. Hmm. Makes you wonder why that is. I wonder why some people get that and then other people don't. There we go. Well, so we can do some energy. That might be something we can do. You up for that, Liz? You want to do a little bit of energy work? Okay, so let's do... So I'll just ask you, Liz, do you have any physical pain anywhere? Headache or maybe something with the throat or back or neck or anything? I was having pain in my throat, so that's what I was feeling there for a second. So let's do this here. There we go. Okay, so you were having pain in your throat, so let's do this. Ah. It comes and goes. Okay, I can understand that. Is there any other? That's kind of the main area. We can focus a little bit on that, or we can do some. Let's just see what comes up energetically. And since you're my mod, Liz, if I get anything psychically, I'll pass it on to you free of charge, right? This is just kind of a way of saying thank you. I'll see what comes in what kind of comes up though. Because I know you've been on here, back and shoulder. Okay, so we can focus on the back and shoulder pain, actually. Let's do that. Let me, let's do this. Give me a second, Liz. I'm just lighting some incense here. There we go. Thank you, Liz. I just want to help you out. You've been helping me out. You come on here and you do the mod stuff, so I just figure it's a little bit of a payback. So, all right. So allow yourself to relax, Liz, as much as you can, and let's just start by focusing on our breathing. Okay, and from there, then we can focus on allowing ourselves to be in the present moment, and we're going to allow ourselves to kind of feel the pain, to feel the tightness, or to feel whatever it is that we need to feel. And then my guides and me will focus on giving you some energy. Basically, you're healing yourself, but my guides are giving presence to that. So let's focus on that and see what we can come up with here. My left knee is starting to ache a little bit. I feel like we're making a connection here. And then that went away. So, do you ever get pain in your legs? And my heart just had a palpitation there too. So, do you ever get pain in your legs? And also, are you feeling a little bit like it's lessening up here? I feel like we're making a connection. It feels like it's lessening in the shoulder and the back. I keep holding this energy here. Yes, that too. Okay. Okay. So the pain feels to me, Liz, like I feel like we need to focus more. I mean, can I speak frankly to you, Liz? Is that okay? And also, did you ever have a cat in spirit that has passed? I don't know if you've ever had a cat, but I saw a cat just outside my door that wasn't one of ours. Okay. So the first thing I'm feeling here is this pain comes from, I feel like it's regret and it's a lack of self forgiveness, is where I feel like this comes from. No, no cat. Okay. Well, we had a cat spirit visit us, so that is interesting. But this right here was like regret. And it feels to me like we're focusing on a lack of self love in some areas. I feel like it's hard for us to um, maybe express what we mean in the moment or maybe express what we say in the moment. That could be where the throat issues are coming up as well. And my leg, my left leg, close to my shin, kind of by my foot, is like throbbing a little bit. And so the leg pain is strong. And this to me, I feel like this one has to do with fear. So can you take that so far, the regret and the fear kind of being these issues for these pains? The regret to me could be maybe feeling like we're not doing enough or maybe feeling like we could do better. I feel like there's this tendency to compare ourselves to others or to compare um, kind of what's going on in the world to how we're doing. And I get a sense of comparing and then maybe minimalizing our issues or trying to do that. So, okay. Hmm. Did you just have a sudden jolt of pain? I almost felt like it was in my fingertip, but I felt ouch. If you didn't, that's okay, but that's what I felt for a second. So this right here, this I'm feeling a sense of maybe when you were younger, I feel like I'm hearing the words I promise, and then I'm feeling like the promises were broken, maybe frequently. No, not in your finger. Okay. Um, but if promises were broken frequently, or if things happened where uh, that could make it so that in your own self there could be a sense of not maybe trusting people or what they say in the moment. Like there could be an issue there with trusting how people say things or trusting how we work with people. I feel like you're getting better with that. I don't feel like I'm not just bringing up, like, I feel like you're getting better with it, but I do feel like that was an issue, or still is. Hey Naomi, yeah, you can. You can send a donation for a question. So $5 for one question or $10 for three. I've got it right here. I'm doing psychic readings, Naomi, so I'll ask to tune into your energy field and then I'll kind of see what I get that way. Or we can do cards if you would like. I've got cards in front of me too, but I'm focusing on the psychic readings today. So Liz, you're doing good. You're doing good work on yourself. These random aches and pains, though, I feel like if you can do something where you're releasing part of your self, releasing is a good word for it. I feel like if we visualize kind of like regret, we visualize kind of this feeling of things moving on, like our own energy, for instance. That's going to help unlock this for us. Obviously, we could do more work um, at another time. So we'll see what we're going to do here. But give me a second. Oh. Liz, you didn't have to. Thank you, but you didn't have to pay. I told you didn't have to. You're my mod. You didn't have to pay for that, but thank you. I do appreciate that. You're welcome, and you can actually ask a question here after Naomi if you want to as well, because we were doing that. You can ask some questions, not a question. Um, okay. So, Naomi, is this your first time on the channel? I don't feel. Maybe you have visited before, but I'm not sure. Okay. Well, thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. Just sent 10. Okay. Okay, Naomi, thank you very much. Okay. So I've got it right here. Thank you very much. So let me put you here. Let me do this. And we'll do this. All right, Naomi. So what are your questions? Psychic works. Perfect. Perfect. So what are your questions, Naomi? Okay, so how does Andrew feel about me? Why didn't I hear from him tonight? Will we work out? So, all very good questions. So let me find a spot here. I'm feeling like I need to get another piece of paper for this. Fresh piece. Okay. I'm just going to write your name down, Naomi, and then I'm going to tune in and see what I can get here. And go from there. So, Naomi. So with Andrew, the first thing I'm hearing, with when I'm focusing on the connection, so how does Andrew feel about me? Actually, let's focus on that question first. How does Andrew feel about me? So let me see what I got. Okay, okay. Well, welcome to the channel, Naomi. Appreciate having you here, and thank you. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. So let's see what we have here. First thing I'm getting with Andrew, how does he feel about me? So there's a tendency towards, I'm getting a sense of, I see a teacup. Psychically, that's what I'm focusing on, is I see a teacup. And I feel like he doesn't necessarily know how to handle the teacup. So I get a sense of someone who can be insensitive or crass at times. I feel like they do their best, but there's a sense here where it's like I feel like I'm insensitive or I'm crass. with certain things, because the teacup, I feel like, has a chip in it. Okay. Then I get a sense of someone who's looking at their watch a lot, or someone who's maybe distracted or wanting to do other things. That's kind of the sense that I'm getting here. So, Naomi, would that make sense so far? Okay. Can't take another drink here. Hold on. Okay, so let me see what else I can get here. Just give me a minute here and let me focus. Not that you're asking for more information. I just need a little bit here. So, Naomi, I heard the words clearing space. So I don't know what this means exactly, other than maybe there could have been a dispute or something could have happened. When I hear clearing space, to me it's like doing something or moving on, or I don't know. Are you guys talking to each other? The clearing space is interesting because I'm wondering if there's communication between you two at this point in time. Can you hear what I'm saying? Okay. Yes, you are. He is distracted easily. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm getting a sense of, someone who's distracted. Hey, Kema, so it's $5 for one question or $10 for three questions. If that works for you, let me know. He is distracted easily. Okay, so let me focus on the questions you asked, though. I can tell he tries, though, and makes effort to improve communication. That's good. That's good. That's why I was seeing the teacup. I was seeing, like, I feel like he does his best, but there's a sense of mishandling the teacup that is you. Like, your energy is the teacup, he's the handler, and I feel like he's kind of clanking around. But that's good. He makes mistakes, but he tries to make it better. So let me go up and look at the questions again. He sort of disappeared tonight when I needed him. Okay. So that makes sense. So I had that I wrote down this a little bit ago, and it just says clearing space. It's kind of hard to see. My handwriting is a little chicken scratchy. But when I said clearing space, that makes sense. He kind of disappeared, right? So if we're focusing on that, of course you're going to question what's going on. So let's look and see. So how does Andrew feel about me? I do feel he cares, but there's like you said, there's a tendency to be distracted. So let me focus on just that question. How does Andrew feel about Naomi? So the first, we talked earlier today, but not later in the evening. Okay, okay. The first thing I get was a glove, so I feel like you fit him like a glove, or you actually help him in that sense. So I'm getting a good, I'm getting a good vibe from that. I ended up in and blew up his phone. Oh, okay. Okay, so right here, I'm feeling like he cares about you. Okay, there is a glove, and you can't spell glove without love. I'm sorry you ended up in the ER with an allergic reaction. Um, that sounds awful and scary. And of course, you're looking for him to be there. Um, so I sense there's connection here, but then let me look. Let me look here on what. Why didn't I hear from him tonight? Okay, so let's look at that because I do sense there is a strong connection here. But let's look at why you didn't hear from him tonight. So why didn't Naomi hear from Andrew tonight? The first words that I heard were called in, called in. So why didn't you hear from him tonight? Called in. What does Andrew do as a job, or what does he? It's still not working, huh? That is so weird. I logged in and I tried to get it to work, KMOS. So let me just do it this way. So just do this for my PayPal. That's how you can pay me on PayPal. And then whatever you use, that's just the email address. I don't have the link right now. I need to have everything kind of ready to go. But there's also Super Chat as an option as well, if that's fine. So yeah, so Naomi, what kind of work does Andrew do? And Liz is showing the link there, but sometimes it doesn't work for some reason. Okay, that one's working. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so give me a second here. I'm trying to. Okay. Move this over. Oh, move this over. I'm so sorry, you guys. Just give me a second here. There we go. There we go. Okay, let me see this here. Okay, thank you very much. So I'll put you on the list here. Okay, so Naomi, the words I got for why he didn't respond were he was called in, and I'm wondering what that could possibly mean. Um, but I feel like something important came up because when I hear called in, that's what I'm feeling. So does I don't know what kind of work he does. I don't know what's going on there, but called in was something that came up. But I can look more into that. I just want to make sure that can make sense to you. But okay, okay. Let me see what else I can get here. Software engineer. So let me see what else I can get here to look. So why did Really? Last you heard he was home playing games with friends online. Okay. Let me see if that's actually what's going on. Has this Naomi, has this happened before where he's done something like this, or is this the first time you needed him and he wasn't there? Because I felt like, from what I was feeling, I felt like there was a reason that he wasn't messaging. I didn't feel like it was games, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully what I'm saying is right, and hopefully he's not just playing games or ignoring you. But that's what I was feeling, so we will see. Uh, let me do a little more here. Honestly, that's twice now. Called in, he was busy. Was something that I keep getting. So hopefully he's not just playing games. I'm hoping that's not the case. But let's look at option 3 or question 3 here. See what we can get. Will you guys work out together? So let's do that. Will you guys work out? For Naomi R. Let's see. Okay. Okay, it's the first time you needed him, he wasn't there. Okay. And something could have happened where it's an innocent mistake. Maybe his phone's dead and he forgot to charge it, or. Right, right. So if there's some abandonment issues and that was going on, so that's tough to deal with. I understand. What I feel with this energy is that I don't feel he's willfully ignoring you. I don't get that vibe. But I feel like kind of the perfect storm or the perfect set of situations happen to trigger things. Right, right. So here's what I'm feeling here. I do not feel he did this willfully. I don't feel it's a neglectful thing. What I do feel is that if there is issues there, if things have triggered things in the past, abandonment issues, then it's best to work on that for a bit, right? I think he's okay. I don't feel like he's not okay, but I feel like kind of the situation led up to a spot where a wound in you was triggered tonight. He wasn't there to help, but I do feel like things will take their course in due time. So let me look at will you guys work out? Because that's the next question coming in here. So let's look at that. So the thing I'm seeing when I said, will you guys work out? I'm seeing having breakfast together. And to me, if we're having breakfast together or we're doing something together like that, I feel like this is a good connection. So I do feel like you guys will work out. I'm not feeling a sense of anything else going on there. I feel like things happened, triggers happened, and it was kind of the perfect storm. It's funny when a trigger like an abandonment issue is triggered, it's not just partially triggered, it's usually full blown. It's like boom, 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 and then there's kind of this big thing. You said you almost drove over there, but you kind of stopped yourself and you're not feeling well. So that's good you didn't drive over there because, like you said, it wouldn't have helped anything. Our issues are our issues, and we want people to help us with our issues and to be there for us and to listen and to give not necessarily validation, but to give a sense of like I've got you through this, right? So I'm feeling like there's been a misunderstanding here, is what I'm feeling, and I feel like things will work out. But give yourself some time, right? Give yourself some time and let yourself de-stress as much as you can because one time, it's a weird story, Naomi, but I'll tell you, okay? I made I made what I affectionately refer to as chocolate chip cookies because when you bit into them, it was like biting into electricity, and then my cheek got super swollen, and I mean I ate a couple cookies even though my cheek was swelling up. They were good cookies. I made them myself. Turns out we had rats in the house, and they defecated somewhere, I'm sure, but I'm anyway. There's a story about me, right? Allergic reaction. But what I'm saying is, Naomi, I don't think there's anything to worry about here. I would, get feeling better. Let your adrenaline, let things kind of calm down, leave your system, and take a breath. That's what it sounds like you're doing. So I think things are gonna go okay. Just let yourself go through that. And sometimes our phone dies, we forget to charge it, or we forget to check our phone, especially if we're playing games or we're having a good time. And it's just a kind of a thing for a perfect situation. So that's what I'm feeling, Naomi. So does that help answer your questions? Okay, so that's probably what I'm seeing is that you guys will have brunch or breakfast together, right? So I'm sorry it was hard, Naomi. I'm sorry things kind of triggered into that perfect kind of storm. That's usually how that stuff goes. Like I said, it's not a small trigger. It's like there's a big trigger, right? And abandonment issues are those are hard to deal with. We're used to feeling what abandonment feels like, and it's one of the most painful feelings. And so when something happens, it triggers that again. But you at least have enough emotional intelligence to know when you're feeling that way and to know where it's coming from. That's good. That's a good sign because you understand that you don't want that to bleed over into the relationship. But I mean, talk to him, let him know what happened, obviously, and but if you feel like he's making time, he's trying with you, that's good. I don't feel like someone that tries and does things is willfully going to ignore somebody. Generally, that's not how that goes. So, like I said, the teacup that had a chip on it is because I feel like, let's say in the relationship, you can be somewhat of a cat and he can be somewhat of a dog, or vice versa. And I feel like both of you guys, there can be some ruffling of feathers sometimes, but I feel like there's a general sense of trying to get along, of trying to be there for each other. So I don't see anything bad. Okay, good, good. Try and see how things go tomorrow. And thank you for stopping by and for the donation. I appreciate that. Good. Get some rest. Get yourself feeling better, okay? And again, welcome to the channel. We have fun here. I hope. I hope. Seems like we do. Seems like everything's good. So get some rest, get feeling better, and yeah. Thank you again for helping the channel. Okay, so moving on here. Kay, are you still there? Kay Ma? You too, Kay, or you too, Naomi. You have a good night. Get some rest. Okay, Kay, do you want to ask your question? I'm just picking up scraps on the ground from when I tear paper. Because I'm a good boy like that. I do good boy things. Okay. Another incense, I think, is in order. You're Capricorn and you are doing okay, but you want us to move a little bit faster. What can you do? So, Kay, is it okay if I connect psychically? I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. But then I will connect psychically if that's okay with you. And then we can try and get some information. Does that work for you? Because I'll be right back. I just got to go. Okay. We'll see what we can come up with, guys. Okay. Alright. Let's see what we can come up with. So this is for K-Ma. Thank you, K-Ma, for doing that. I appreciate that. Let me tune in here and see what you guys can do to speed this up. So I feel like focusing on, to me, basic forms of communication is a good idea. Talking things out, being able to say how you're feeling if you're having a bad day, the other person just listening and not trying to fix it, right? Just being there and being present for a person is a really good thing to have. So I feel like we're focusing on the fundamental ideals of communication in the relationship. So um, not being the fixer is something that I feel like is hugely important to speed up a relationship. Some people just need to talk, some people just need to get things out and not have someone fix it, just listen. So that's something that I feel like is important for a relationship. The other one was um, is there anything you guys do together that's like a hobby that you guys do? Like, because that can bring you guys closer together as well, depending on what it is you want to do. But hobbies are a good idea. You can have dancing, you can have singing, karaoke night. You can have something where you guys get to change your roles in the relationship from being kind of mundane to something a little bit more special, maybe once or twice a week. Kind of like a date night, but something where you can kind of examine what those roles look like with each other and see each other in a new light. So hobbies together are also a good idea. But something, if someone really enjoys something but the other person doesn't, don't drag them along to that. That's unless that person wants to support you through that, that's good. That's someone who's really supportive and a good partner. But what I would suggest is instead of going with what your partner wants or with what you want, focus on trying something new that would be new for both of you as a possibility, and maybe you'll be into that. So there can be hobbies, there can be different things you can sign up for, like classes, stuff like that. To me, that's something really good to focus on in a relationship if you want to build things up. And if things are moving well, that's great. So far, does any of this make sense for you? Yes, but it's been stale lately. Okay, so that's that's something. So if it's going through the same kind of mundane things, or it's going through the same kind of like an over and over again Groundhog Day situation, right? So you want to liven things up. All right. So let me see here. Do you guys do anything? Like I said, hobbies together are good. Exercising together, going on walks together, doing something where you're getting out and you're kind of going into a different part of the world. You can go into a different part of your brain. I know walks for me with my partner help tremendously. So that would be something I could recommend. There needs to be something where you guys aren't doing the same everyday thing because you're saying it's been getting stale, okay? And if you're on here and you're talking to me about that, I would feel like this is something that I would hopefully want you to talk to your partner about. Do you feel like you can talk to them openly and say, hey, I feel like we should mix things up, we should change things? Or do you feel like they would be stressed out by you suggesting something? Okay, so you did say something to him. He said okay, but nothing changed. And that can be difficult to work through because you're trying to focus on that. So you want to make it where growth is the priority in the relationship and to take it to that level. So a lot of things, like I said, trying new things is a good idea. Getting him on board with that, though, is going to be kind of important. So I would almost say think of a few ideas, okay? And bring it up casually, whatever you can do. Think of a few ideas, put them down on a piece of paper, and say to this person, we have to pick one of these things to do. What would you want to try? And see what he says, because I'm feeling like he needs to be involved in the decision making process as well. Get a list, whatever you need to do, but if you're feeling like things are stale, then I feel like you're going to have to be the one that institutes the change in this way. So, um, a lot of times, some people are not very good at being spontaneous. I am one of those people. So, giving a list or doing something that you would possibly want to do could help. Uh, I mean, even something as simple as seeing a movie, that's okay. But if you want to really change things up, um, you can put on that list going on a vacation, or you can go do something around your area, just something new to get to get things going again, to see each other in a different light. Because if it's the same thing over and over, and you don't want that routine, I can completely understand that. So, and maybe this person doesn't know what that looks like to do something together like that. Do you guys have hobbies you do together now? Wineries and scratch offs. Okay, that's not too bad, but if you want to change it up, I can understand that. So I would suggest, like I said, you bring in a piece of paper, things that you would want to do with him, and tell him he has to pick one. Make it kind of fun. Don't make it something that's like dreadful, but say, you know what, let's try something new. I have a list here that we could try, and focus on doing something together and see how that goes. Because if you're feeling like it's stale, then that probably wouldn't be the best thing. You're a little older. Okay, I can. All right. Well, even if you're older, though, I mean, shouldn't there still be a sense of newness, right? If you feel like things are stale. Let me give me a minute here. And he's mid 40s. Okay. Well, I would still think a list idea would work. One of the first things I saw was a list, and so I'm thinking if you're mid 30s and 40s, I don't feel like that's too old. I feel like you guys still have a lot of life left in you, maybe some fun nights. I would say get away, do something like that if you guys can afford a vacation or if you guys feel comfortable doing a vacation right now, cuz I know a lot of people right now, it's not just you guys. A lot of people are getting stir crazy. It's getting to be that time because of the virus and for everything else that's been going on. It's been kind of a mess. But in my opinion, if you guys want change, if you want change, it's probably going to be a little uncomfortable at first to recommend something. But if you're wanting change, you're going to have to bring it up in some way, and it will probably be uncomfortable and maybe a little bit awkward. But like I said, do something where they have to pick something fun to do, or they have to just pick something, and then you guys can try it out. And if he whines and moans about it, that's not a good thing, but it kind of shows you the character of the person. I feel honestly that you guys you're still very young. Okay, you're mid 30s, mid 40s. That's not you're not in your 80s, so I feel like you guys could definitely do something or try something new. Honestly, it's about seeing each other in new roles in the relationship or seeing how someone handles something. We want newness so that we can have memories, so that we can make, so that one day doesn't just bleed into another one and turn into a giant blob. We want to have memories. We want to have some dynamic movement. And a lot of times, men and women get stuck in their ways as we go into our older years, and we don't want to change. And I feel like if that's something that's going on, but you do want change, then just bring it up to him. Say, hey, I want to try this out. I'm getting bored. And if he has a problem with that, that's his problem. But I feel like you should be able to say if things are getting stale. But a vacation's good. A vacation is something, right? Because on a vacation, everything you do would be new. So that would be something where you could make memories and you guys could understand each other in a different way, right? Because if it's every day the same thing, then of course it's going to all lump together. So vacation would be good. Um, Wherever you guys could vacation to. It seems like travel restrictions are lifting up in a lot of places, so that's good. See if I can get anything else here, though. Let me dig a little further. Okay. And I feel like what I'm seeing is visiting, obviously visiting new places. If you do go on vacation, even if you don't, going into new places, new locations, that's a really good idea too. I was almost seeing like museums or doing something where you're like walking around, you're looking at stuff. Um, but something that brings you out of the everyday, that monotony, and something that you can bring back into your lives, something that you can have this kind of a sense of exposure to fun things, but it's not as dangerous. So I feel like a vacation's good, but if you want to bring something back home with you, if you want to bring something where, things are, when you're home, um, visiting places, visiting, like going to the thrift store or going to a pawn shop or doing something simple, looking at items, kind of bringing in that kind of fresh new kind of thing. Even if you guys don't buy anything, or having, breakfast and then walking around town, or doing something that's new that you guys have never done before would be something that would bring in that. Because if you're feeling bored, and I feel like we all are with this COVID, that would be something that could help. Hey, lighter Emanations, yeah, you can have a reading. So it's $5 for one question or $10 for three. But yeah, you absolutely can have a reading. I'm doing psychic readings now though, so hopefully you don't mind that. I can use the cards if you feel comfortable, if you feel more comfortable with the cards. But and honestly, Kema, I feel like you should, bring it up again. Say you want to try new things, and if he says he'll try, really have him stick to it. Oh, for an additional question? Okay, go for it, Kema. Go for it. Ask your additional question. Yeah, lighter emanations. After this person, you would be the next person on my list if you donated. So, after Kema, you would be the next person if you donated. Okay, let's do that. That's a good question. And thank you for the additional donation. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to chuck this one here. So I'm going to use some cards for this one. So right here, these cards I'm going to be using, these are the True Love reading cards right here. So I'll be using these ones. So let's see what we have here. How does he feel about me? Let's do two questions there. They're kind of the same question, but I'll split it into the two. So how does he feel about me or the relationship? So let's focus on that. How does he feel about me or the relationship? Thank you. Kema, you are very welcome. Very, very welcome. How does he feel about me? Or how does he feel about Kema? Relationships. Let's look at that. So first thing I get is this. So how he feels about you is that you have boundaries. Okay, so that's good. That's a really good thing. If someone sees that you have boundaries, that's good. They're not going to try and cross that line. They're going to try and, or they'll at least try, I feel like. But then how does he feel about the relationship? I get, this one is soulmates in reverse. So, but you said things were going well in the relationship. So I'm curious, when I see soulmates in reverse, it feels like there's, like you said, you're bored, right? There's a sense of being bored. There's a sense of wanting things to kind of move along. And maybe this person wants things to stay the same. Maybe this person isn't bored, but maybe they want to live in the mundane. But the thing is, when we live in the mundane world all the time, when we live in the everyday, all day, it makes it so that maybe we don't appreciate our partner, or maybe we don't appreciate the nuances of life. Like this person, and maybe I'm wrong when I say this, but this person kind of has a mentality of the old dog, right? The old dog doesn't want to learn a new trick. The old dog doesn't want to try anything new. I feel like he's set in his ways, and he kind of likes being set in his ways. He kind of just wants every day to mull into the next kind of a thing. And maybe I'm wrong with that, K-Ma, but you can let me know. This is what I'm getting from the cards. Okay. So what I feel, honestly, is that, hold on. So what I feel honestly is going on with the connection is you're trying to reach for something more, and I don't know if this person is able to give it. And that's not easy to hear, but that's what I'm feeling. It's kind of like you're still young enough to want these things, right? And he's older. It sounds like maybe 7 to, I don't know, 7 to 10 years older than you are. So you're in this place where you're still wondering about yourself, you're still wondering about your place in the world, you still have questions, and you're still very curious about things. And I feel like he's older, and he's kind of already done that, and he doesn't want to focus on that anymore, right? The problem with that is that if you're feeling this sense of like longing to try new things, wanting to do something new, but he's not, what do you do, right? So that to me is kind of the $1 million question, if you will. And that'll cost $1 million for me to answer it. No, I'm just kidding. But that right there is, it's a difficult question, right? That is a difficult question. So I feel there's a connection, I do, but it's kind of like you're in a place where you're not going to grow anymore with this person the way you want to. A relationship should be focusing on helping each other grow and helping each other learn new things. And I talk about the evolution of the relationship, right? And to me, if you're not growing and you're not learning new things and you're not like expanding your consciousness, your awareness at all times, then it creates this kind of staleness in the relationship where the other person has to go out and has to do that. They have to bring in all this energy, and that's hard to do. And that would be you. You're trying to bring in energy, you're trying to bring in newness, you're trying to do this, and the other person isn't necessarily reciprocating that. So that's difficult. That's a difficult thing to go through. But if you're wanting something new and this person isn't, then that's up to you. It could be that the relationship is fine and it's great, but would you want a relationship if it was just fine or okay? Or would you want a relationship that you would wake up and you don't know there's going to be mundane parts in the relationship regardless, right? When you get to know someone well enough, it's going to hit that part where there's some boring stuff that goes on because that's what life is mostly, is the boring moments. But you want to be able to have those big moments too. You want to be able to express that with a partner who's there and possibly in the present moment with you. I don't know if this person is necessarily engaged in the present moment with you when you're experiencing things. I don't know if that's something that's happening or if this person is off doing something else. But I do feel that there's a longing for you to want to see what's going on in the relationship, wanting to understand it. I feel like with you, he feels a connection, sure, but it feels like it's a distant connection. It feels like he doesn't know necessarily how to love in the way that you would want to feel loved, if that makes sense. I, again, could be off on that. And I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. That's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So does that make sense so far? That was kind of a lot that I said. So if you have anything to disagree with, I would be fine with that. It does. Okay. But that's hard, isn't it, Kma? That's kind of a situation where, how would you put it? You're comfortable, you're comfortable, but you're not growing. And in my opinion, the only way to really live life is to always be slightly uncomfortable. Um, to like learn new things. I don't mean slightly uncomfortable like awkward or whatever. I mean slightly uncomfortable like you're always learning something new. You're always trying to understand something. You're always being humbled. You're always kind of in this place of like trying to understand the world better. Because when you're curious about the world, which it sounds like you are, then you kind of want to experience it. You want to understand it more. And if the other person isn't as curious, that creates a disconnect, you know? Um, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that you. No, to me, right? It's very hard because you do love him, right? There's love there. There's love. I don't doubt that at all. I sense that there is. But when I see the soulmates in reverse, when I see that in reverse, to me it just feels like there is a disconnect. And you've talked to him about stuff, and you've tried. I feel like you've tried. I don't feel like you've sat there and you've just been really quiet and meek and mild. I feel like you have tried to talk to them. You've tried to say things. You've done that, and I feel like you've done it probably many times. Um, and it probably gets tired having the same conversation, but in a slightly different way, or in a slightly different mood, or on a slightly different day. That probably gets kind of exhausting. I would think. And I'm not saying, I don't feel like he's a bad person. That's not it. I just feel like there's this tendency for people to get stuck in a rut, right? I feel like there's a tendency for people to get stuck in a rut. And what can you do to change that? Nothing. You can change yourself. You can change how you see things because that's in your power. But if they don't want to, they're not going to. It's as simple as that, right? And that's a painful thing to hear, but that's kind of how it is. And that's how I do my readings. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I talk about, you know, what I feel like is important. And that's the only thing you can do. You can change you. You can change how you see the world. You can focus on developing yourself, but you should never have to focus on developing someone else, right? Again, I know it's not fun to hear. I know that because now you're gonna. Hmm. I don't need to look at the cards for this part. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you this. In the end, K-Ma, it's up to you what you want to do with your life and how you want to live it. If you're feeling if you're feeling uninspired, or you're feeling a sense of like you want to have an adventure but it's not happening, or you want to have someone that's there to explore the curiosities of life with you, or you just want to have someone that has that presence, then I would say walk away. But if you're comfortable where you are now, then I would say, but it sounds like to me that you're longing for something else. And this person, I don't feel like can change, and it's not your job to change them. It's not your job to try to get them to change, or to even have them like the change. It's not your job. Your job is to work on you. And if someone else wants to come in on that and be a part of your journey, that's great. But if someone is off in the distance doing their own thing, and then you guys come together occasionally, that's up to you if you like that or not. That's up to you if you want to walk away. Because that's an uncomfortable thing to focus on. And my advice is just this part's the advice. The rest of part was psychic, but this part is the advice part. So um, that's up to you what you want to do in those areas, or the cards, or the anyway. Um, I feel like you're a strong-willed woman because I got the boundaries card. What does he think about you? There's boundaries. And I don't feel like he knows how to necessarily treat you the way you would want to be treated, right? And so that's kind of what I'm feeling there. Don't feel like he's a bad person. I just feel like there's a tendency to, um, some people just don't see us the way we feel like we are. Some people just don't see us the way that we present ourselves to the world. Some people want us to stay a certain way. Like in a relationship, what can happen is as soon as we're in a relationship, we kind of settle into these roles. And sometimes the man or the woman thinks that the other person is going to stay in that role forever and there's going to be no growth or change. But then guess what? The person changes. And then the relationship needs to change to keep up, or else there's two opposing ideals. If someone wants to stay the same but the other person doesn't, it sounds to me like that's kind of a go your separate ways situation, because one person's saying I want to stay here, the other person's saying I want to go on, I want to see what's out there. Does that make sense, Kay? Hey, Orange Dragonfly, you are good. You're good. Don't worry about it. If you have a question, the rates are right down there, but if not, that's okay too. It's up to you, Kay. You're welcome. I wish you the best on your journey, and thank you again for helping to support the channel. I appreciate that. Yeah. Can I empty this here? Do you have a question, Orange Dragonfly? You're very welcome. You're very welcome, my friend. Take care, Kay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Have you been on the channel before? Okay, let me see here. Good night to you too, Orange Dragonfly. I appreciate the donation. That was very kind of you. Very kind indeed. Well, with all that being said and done, right there, I think I too am going to say good night and go well into it, my friends. I will be live again on Monday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I want you guys to take care, to stay safe, and I will see you all again on Monday, 8 p.m., okay? Goodbye, my friends, and I will see you later.